So we are 2 days away from the 11th anniversary part 2 broadcast, and this stream will be giving us the full details on everything for part 2, including the full kits of the characters, their leader skill, animations, and everything like that. Speaking of leader skill, I did make a video on that yesterday, but today we're going to be able to speculate on something that we haven't been able to for basically any other character before, and that is the EX super attack condition. So before part 1 started, we knew that there would be EX super attacks, we just didn't know how they looked or worked in game. Now we have a good idea of how these EX super attacks do work, and again, they're basically like what Int Buhan was actually, and I should bring up this Goku as well. But if we look at Buu Ultimate Gohan, we know that this guy basically was like the OG unit super or ultra what the hell, EX super attack character, where it doesn't even show. Oh yeah, it doesn't show on this side either. I think the Dokkan wiki site does need to definitely update that. In fact, it's not on these characters as well. Okay, wait, give me a sec, I have to bring up the cards. Okay, so I have them brought up here on the Dokkan info site just because the Dokkan wiki doesn't show it, but essentially these are conditional super attacks where we could see 30% chance of super attack transforming for a greater power, which is kind of like similar to what we see for these guys. So for example, this guy, I guess, is a little more conditional, but it's a different animation entirely, and it's like, okay, if you get a crit, 60% chance for the super attack to become an EX super. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, if you get a crit, 77% chance for the super to become an EX super attack. Then for the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, again, whenever a super attack is launched as an additional attack, 50% chance to become an EX. Now, there's one major issue with these kind of super attacks right here, and that is, I think, with these two characters. So what's happening is, I feel like if it's something like, I think Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was handled really well with his EX Super, because his EX Super attack can be activated multiple times during the turn. Because it's on the additional supers, even though it's a lower chance to see it, the fact that you have multiple of these super attacks in the turn, you have multiple chances to get it, it's kind of, it feels a lot better, because it's like, okay, I don't get it on the first super, well, I still have like 3 other additionals incoming, and with that in mind, I could very likely end up landing this super attack. While the super attack effect itself, I feel like isn't, fun enough, as good as this could be right now. Like, you could argue that this is overall a better super attack effect, even though it's not a multi-turn defense raise, because this ability on active skill turns is disgusting. Well, it's like, this defense is nice, but it's not gonna be like game breaking. I feel like, you know, I feel like this reads better on paper than it can actually feel like in game sometimes, but it's still useful, of course. It's not bad. But the issue is that there's so many stipulations to this, and obviously RNG is not a bad thing, but it's like, okay, it has to be only the first super attack in the turn. No, it has to be, yeah, your first attack, which is basically the first super attack in the turn, and then it has to crit, and then it's only a 77% chance to become an EX super, which is kind of crazy, because it's like, okay, well, if you get any additionals that crit, you can't even get the 77% chance. You get a crit on the first super attack, it's still a 77% chance. You don't crit, you don't get a chance to do it at all. Like, there's multiple ways to not get it. Well, as Vegeta's is very simple, additional super, 50% chance. There's not like a third stipulation, because it's any additional super. It's not, oh, when the second super attack in the turn is an additional super attack, 77% chance for that to become an EX super. Like, that would be 3 stipulations, or 3 kind of conditions behind it in one. Well, that's the issue with this. It's like there's multiple conditions to meet that are not in your control directly. So that's the biggest thing about these guys. You know, even with Vegeta's, obviously he's not in your control, but it's like a bit annoying. So my kind of the whole reason I'm talking about this is because I hope that even if they change the character kits last second, which we know they have before in the past, they've changed the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta's kit. If you guys remember the original Year 4 Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, apparently they were changed right before release to where, okay, we see how Vegeta has 80% defense and then Goku has 80% attack. And then they build up stats each turn. They didn't used to have this. Like, apparently this was not in their kit pre-release, which would have... I mean, they were probably designed, like, you know, a while before their release, of course, but that would have, that would not have been good at all. That would have been pretty bad if they didn't have any of those stats in there, even on release. So I could see them making changes to these characters in terms of, like, you know, kit or EX super attack effects. Please don't make these super conditional. I think that's the one thing that people don't want. People don't want... One of the biggest frustrations of part 1 was this. I think Super Saiyan 4 Goku's EX super attack condition. People didn't really have an issue with Vegeta. People had a huge issue with Goku's because it's like, it feels really bad when you don't get it. Like, Vegeta is like, you'll likely get it in the turn, and even if you don't get it, it's like, okay, well, this was like, it's 50% chance, just, you know, bad luck, it happens. This is just like, you do fully expect to get it, and it's like, well, that's stupid that I don't get it, right? And it just leads to a dissatisfaction when using the character sometimes. And obviously, you know, I feel like with how his kit works, like, oh, he has 80% chance to crit when you hit 24 key, and then it's still like basically an 80% chance for it to hit. So it's like the odds are in your favor, but it's just extremely annoying when you don't get it, especially because, again, to get more of this guy's crits, you need to hit 24 key as well. So if anything, you could argue this has an extra 4th condition. You have to hit 24 key, then you have to make sure that crit goes in, and it can only be on the first super attack, and you have to have the 77% chance. Like, that's crazy. We can't have that anymore. Like, this is not a good condition to introduce this with. And you know, you could argue that maybe, I mean, arguably maybe it is. Seeing the feedback for this guy, it's like, okay, maybe let's bring the reins back a bit. Unfortunately, this guy, like, is stuck. Like, they're not going to change his kit until his, like, next release or his EZA. So that's sad. Now, again, I do want to confirm, they can change this in the future because it's part of the super attack effect. It's not like an active skill where it's not in the... Like, you know, there's basically like a table subset or whatever. I don't know exactly how to call it. But, like, in the database, there's... like tables where, okay, this is where we update the passives and kits for these characters, and there's no basically spot for active skills there or standby skills, I believe, but super attack effects can change, obviously, and this would basically be in the super attack effect, so keep that in mind. Now, for part 2, I think it's very easy to make these guys have, you know, acceptable EX super attacks, right? Very easy to make these guys have fun unit super attacks. I keep saying unit EX super attacks. Let's think about UI Goku, for example. What if it's like, okay, if you dodge 3 times in battle, the next super attack you perform will be an EX super attack, and then it's like up to once per turn. And it's like, okay, very simple. UI Goku is a dodge based character, and if you don't dodge anyways, you're kind of going to be screwed over, maybe regardless. But like, I feel like that's easier to control. And if it's something like that where it's like, okay, even if you put this guy in slot 2 turn 1 and he doesn't get the EX super, you basically guarantee yourself to like get the super attack as long as you dodge like 3 times. Like, let's say if all, again, the only issue is like, you know, enemies could sometimes maybe not attack, you know, 3 times or something like that. So maybe it could be like after you evade an attack within the turn, EX super attack if you're at like a certain amount of key or something. Like, it seems like they really want these to be like still conditional, right? So it's not going to be a guaranteed thing, but I don't know, I don't even think that would make it guaranteed. Like, if I'm being realistic, it's going to be like after evading an attack, the next super attack will have a 77% chance to become an EX super. Like, that's something I would expect for like UI Goku. Like, that would make a lot of sense to me. And then I think Evolution Blue Vegeta will probably get something like this guy's, where it's like 50% chance for all the supers in turn to become an EX super. And the reason why I would expect that is because Evolution Blue Vegetas usually just have a bunch of additionals in their kit, right? I think the only one that doesn't really have a lot of additionals in the kit is like the Int Blue Evolution Vegeta, but We could bring up SS Vegeta, even the AGO one. And I will be making kit concepts for these characters. I probably will drop that video, I think, either tomorrow or the 13th, one of the 2 days. Where's this guy? Like, we take a look here. Even in his EZA, right? This guy has the 2 additional attacks. Then this guy also has, of course, the 2 additional attacks right there. Then we look at Into Blue Evolution Vegeta. Even on his EZA, he only, I think, has the 1 additional with a 77% chance to become a super. Like, that's the only one that doesn't have, like, multiple. Like, this guy has tons of additional super attacks. This character, because of the Vegeta, I feel like has tons of these additional super attacks as well. So that's, I think, like, that's like a Blue Evolution Vegeta. I think they usually just give that guy like a shit ton of additional supers. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just like a ton of additional supers for him. Now for Vegeta and Goku, they don't really have quirks like that. You know what would be, so are these guys gonna have counter attacks? I would assume not, because like I feel like the Super Saiyan 4s, like early on in the game's lifespan, they all always had counters. Like the counter attack was kind of like the Super Saiyan 4 kind of gimmick. If we go by, I guess maybe I should instead bring up the JP timeline, just because I think that'll be more easy for me to remember. But again, let's go and just by the original release date, again, we see these guys, I believe, introduced the counter mechanic, if I'm not mistaken. Well, not the super attack counter mechanic, not like counter mechanic. AGL Super Vegeta introduced the normal attack counter mechanic. But then these 2 had counters, this guy had counter, these 2 had counters, this guy had a counter. Then Super Saiyan 4 Broly was the first Super Saiyan 4 that didn't have one, but it's like, okay, maybe it's because of Goku and Vegeta. But then, like, you know, all these guys had counters, except for the free-to-play one, of course, but it's a free character. Then this guy came out, Gogeta only had the counter. Then this guy came out, he doesn't have a counter. This guy has a counter, this guy doesn't. So it's like kind of wishy-washy. We could also think of full power tech Super Saiyan 4 Goku doesn't have a counter. We can think of Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku doesn't have a counter, right? This guy that transforms into Super Saiyan 4, where the hell is he? He's right here. This guy doesn't have a counter as well. So like, I think you guys kind of see where I'm coming from, where a lot of these characters just end up not having a counter nowadays sometimes. And I mean, it's possible though. So like, that can be kind of cool. The reason why I'm talking about this is I mid video I thought of an idea. Imagine like an EX counter, where it's like if you counter, there's a 70 or a 50% chance for it to become stronger, and then it's like a different animation or something. That can be kind of interesting, but I don't know. I mean, because these guys are referencing the year 4 LRs, so maybe they do have one. That could be cool, honestly. In terms of EX supers, we know Vegeta's, I think that's his, I would assume that's Vegeta's 18 key, but I don't know for sure because we saw Vegeta's EX super attack. It could be his 12 key, it could be his 18 key. The Super Saiyan 4s, I think it's a little less obvious with them because they don't really, I feel like they don't, like, because counter is not like an exclusive thing to them really anymore. There's a lot of characters that have super attack counters now. It's like, what will they make their conditions? I feel like I could see like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, unfortunately, have a similar one to this guy. Vegeta though, I don't know. I mean, they could do anything for these. It could be, oh, you have to hit a certain key amount. Like, imagine like a condition which, like, for every key you have, it's like 3% chance to have the super attack become an EX super or something. And it's like, okay, if you're at like, what would it be, 24 key, that's a like 70% chance or something like that to get the super attack off or something. Like, they could do, or like for every key you're at, 4% chance, and that'd be like nearly 100% chance when you hit 24 key. That could be kind of cool. Maybe that's what they should have given this guy. Who knows? I don't know. We had to see. I mean, maybe this is why I asked Twitter. You know, we'll see what Twitter's thinking. That's kind of what I'm feeling like for these guys, though. But that's me hoping maybe it could be like 50% chance to launch the EX super attack, but if there's a GT Heroes ally in rotation, it's guaranteed. Who knows? 5% chance when there are 7 all-out struggle or saviors allies. That would suck. Wait, are there any quote tweets here? An active skill that guarantees the EX super for 1 turn. See, that's what I was thinking they would do. Like, I didn't think that. I thought the EX super attack was going to be like this guy's Kamehameha, and then like an active skill would be him powering up like he does in the like what I assumed is that the active skill again would be him powering up like in the card art, and then the EX super is like, okay, now you're guaranteed to get the EX super on turn 4, whatever turn you want to get it guaranteed. But no, they did it another way. So I don't know. I mean, they could do something like that. In my opinion, that's what they should have done. But oh well. If you are Goku, assuming it's like it's his first deck, like Forku, when there's an ally whose name includes Vegeta, launches EX super attack. I mean, a character stipulation could be cool. If it's every 12 key, if there's an ally whose names include Goku, 70% chance. So you're talking about UI and Evolution Vegeta, right? I mean, we'll see. That's not impossible to think about. After evading an attack, 77% chance for this first super attack to become an EX super for 4 turns, balanced by him having 100% dodge as the effect. I mean, that could be cool if it's like a 4-turn thing. I don't know if they... I mean, like, I assume UI Goku may not even have 100% dodge, and the reason why I would assume... Oh, you're saying the effect of the unit super would be guaranteed dodge. Imagine it was like, if he gets the EX super attack off, it's a guaranteed dodge. That would be crazy, because he does go, like, UI there. He's not UI signed anymore. It's UI, so... That could be kind of cool. It reminds me of, like, AGO Kid Goku, who has a chance to guarantee dodge every super attack he gets, and if he lands it, he guarantee dodges the rest of the turn. And then Vegeta here, the first super attack is a crit, becomes EX super attack balanced by him not having guaranteed very high crit. So I mean, I feel like this is just like a way better though. Like, I would assume it would just be a 1-turn thing, and then it would kind of be more balanced. Or again, first chance for the next super attack, just so it's like, okay, if you dodge a slot 2 next turn, you still have the chance to get it. But who knows? Yui Goku has to dodge 1 attack first. Yeah, I think everyone does agree with that. Evolution gets his every super at the second super he does. 4Q gets his 24 key, 4G when critting. Make them guarantee when you do certain conditions. That's what I want, and that's what I hope they change it to. But if they don't change it, I would not expect them to be guaranteed. If they don't, like, if I assume they went to the celebration, these character designs, they're all conditional. Like, I would not assume any of them are going to be guaranteed. So at least that's my expectations for part 2. Now, if they, surprise me, I'd be really happy with that. I think many people would too. Like dodging 5 times UI or receiving an attack 5 times with Vegeta, complementary effects, Goku's EX super giving guard and damage reduction, and EX super dodge and crit 3 turns to incentivize tagging. I mean, so like, okay, you're saying like you want to, yeah, I think that's kind of like how I feel like would be cool for the tag like characters is, okay, Goku's gives these effects that won't really be that good for him. Like if Goku gives like 10% reduction on guard, it probably won't matter to him if he's like a major dodge character. He wants to dodge the attacks anyways. But then Vegeta's like, oh, I don't have guard, but I have like 60% reduction, or I have like 77% reduction or something, and then that's it. And then it's like, oh, suddenly I get an extra 10% damage reduction by hitting the EX super. Then Vegeta's like, okay, I hit this EX super attack, I give like dodge for multiple turns. But the only issue with that is like, okay, if these characters are designed with having that full part of their kit up as well, you don't hit the EX super, it kind of feels bad. And it's like, oh, well, now maybe I don't want to switch or something. Like, that's the only kind of issue with this, like that. I think the idea of incentivizing people to tag more is nice though. because I feel like a lot of these tag characters have done a decent job at that, but not like, oh, I want to tag every other turn. And I think the only way for this to become super relevant is if events become longer again, which I do hope we get longer events. I think that would be really ideal for a lot of characters, honestly, because we can have both short and long fights. It's okay. 70% chance with no conditions. Okay. Yeah, 1% chance to perform it when HP is 2% or less. Like, you could see, like, obviously these are all jokes. Like, you could see people's, like, if the EX super attack conditions weren't bad in the first place, people would not be like even joking about it. They'd be like, oh, you know, I'm excited because, you know, maybe I want to see this kind of condition that could be fun. Not that, oh, it's gonna suck. You know, like, it's like the first thing you think of, hey, what if it sucks? Because guess what? The precedent has already been set for it. Just like with active skill conditions. For a long time, people were like, after AGL Kid Gohan, after AGL Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's active skill condition, people were always talking about, oh man, these bad active skill conditions. Same with standby conditions. They just can't help themselves. I was talking about this the other day with someone. 23rd World Tournament Goku might have like the worst condition ever. Like, if you guys don't remember his condition, it's so bad. And this can't change. 6th turn when HP is 59% or less. And it's from his entry turn. And it's such a, like, this is like the main part of the character. Like, the big animation people wanted to see besides this super attack, which, by the way, this super attack, if you guys didn't know, could easily be redone. Even when I initially saw it, there was like so much of this combo that Goku did that was left out of this. And I was like, this looks good. But like, I went back and rewatched OGDB. Like, there's this fight between Goku and Piccolo Jr. has like tons of animations they can still use. Like, there's so many. Goku super Kamehameha, Piccolo basically like has a ki blast deflection. Like, there's so much that happens in this 23rd World Tournament fight that could easily get like 2-3 new cards from both of them. Easily. But yeah, no, anyways, hopefully this guy is up for an easy A. You know, I would say this year maybe TDC could be Goku versus Piccolo Jr. Or not Piccolo Jr. Goku versus Jimmy King Piccolo. Now, if they're really awesome and cool and funny and like the best people ever, they would do something like GDC, but like, and then have both of them. But that's just me like pipe dreaming, and obviously that's never gonna happen. Guys, by the way, Frieza anniversary never happened, you know? People hated me for, I'm getting off topic, but people hated me for saying, oh, Frieza anniversary probably won't happen, because the only reason why we got TDC Golden Frieza is because there's a Gogeta next to him. Like, at the end of the day, I would not expect a Frieza to headline a celebration outside of a GDC, because they've set the precedent for that before. But it's not the same for anniversary or Tanabata, right? Which is now what TDC is. Worldwide Celebration has these kind of characters like that are still well worthy of an anniversary. By the way, Frieza is well worthy of an anniversary. Like, these exciting villain characters that they're like, yeah, actually, no, nah. We want Saiyan 3. We want UI Goku number 4. We want Blue Evolution Vegeta. Again, we want the 4th Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta anniversary character. Actually, is it the 5th one? Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Let me see. I'm pretty sure this is the 4th one. No, it's the 5th one. Yeah. It's the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, then the 5. That's awesome, bro. 70% chance if your team includes Tech, Blue, Falcon, and Goku. Wow, that's awful. Not be too reliant on EX Super, but a nice bonus. Yeah, like what Ziet said, where it's like, okay, imagine UI Goku has like 80% chance dodge or 77% chance dodge. And then it's like, if you hit the EX Super, it's guaranteed. And it's like, okay, you can still dodge, but then if you do hit the EX Super, maybe you get like a 4-turn attack raise, and then you guarantee dodge for the turn. Like, obviously, that's still extremely strong. And it's the same with this, by the way. The thing about this is that you don't even need this to do a lot of damage. It's super nice, but I feel like the EX super attack effects were never really the craziest, mega, most powerful thing in the world. I guess Vegeta it does really help him, but like Goku's is like, it's extremely nice, and he definitely hit like way harder. But this guy is still doing like 100 mil attack stats even without it. I think people are confusing that with this, and the fact that this is Goku's only multiplicative attack. So if he doesn't hit this 24k, then yeah. So maybe 3 more here. You hope it would be something like when there's Universe Survival Saga, Shadow Dragon Saga, Great Ally. Sorry, I just read Shadow Dragon Saga and I'm crying, bro. What? Activate the X Super. Blue Evolution Vegeta, when performing a super attack that performs a critical hit, that's also an additional 30% chance. Yeah, okay. Don't have them be bugged. I'm reading this as the last one because I'd say a lot of people still talk about the bugged super attacks. They did address this on JP. I don't know if they addressed this on Global, which is why people are still probably talking about it, because I don't believe they addressed discrepancies in special move animations are out of sync on some devices. Then they're investigating the issue. I don't think they talked about this on Global though. Did they? No. I don't know why they didn't bring this up on Global, because it's an issue also on both games, but whatever, man. Anyways, let me know what y'all are thinking. 2 days away. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace out.